Hey y'all, it's Amanda. Welcome back to my channel, and today we're going to do recommendations for the Southern Charm Readathon. It's been a minute since I filmed in front of the shelves, so forgive me for any brain fog, mistakes, all the things. But again, we got transparency on the channel, you already know. But I've got a list of book recommendations for each prompt for the Southern Charm. See, there I go. For the Southern Charm Readathon, okay? And I'm so excited to be filming this. I've been meaning to film it for a while, and I'm at the end here. I need to be filming. So yeah, I made a list. We're going to jump in. I've got my bookshelves are in disarray. After this, I'm going to film my TBR for everything. So that's going to be fun, trying to get all these back on the shelf so I can film that video. But let's go ahead and dive in, okay? If you haven't seen the Southern Charm Readathon announcement, I will link that in the card and down below. I will also link the bingo board down below as well. That's worked well for everyone. So super excited for you all to participate. So many of you have messaged me your TBRs and just your excitement for it, and you know, just so excited for you guys. I know I said that so many times, but I really am just so thrilled, another word we'll use, but I'm so thrilled that you all are excited about it just as much as I am. So yeah, let's go ahead and dive into what I think would be great for each prompt. I'm not going to really talk a whole lot about each book because there's a lot of recommendations on this, and I've really, if you've been following me for any length of time, I've talked a lot about these books, several of them recently. But what we're going to do is just, you know, whatever comes to mind, I'll mention it. I'll link the reviews down below if you want to check out reviews or links for any of these books, all that stuff. But I'll just kind of say what comes to mind, why I think it fits the prompt, all that stuff. So let's go. The first prompt is Bless Your Heart, an emotional or heartwarming book. So have several of these. And I may just say some authors as well. Okay, there goes the paper. Let's just hold the paper, Amanda, okay? So, first off, I think that any of Tammy L Gray's books are definitely going to fit in for this because they're very emotional. All three of these books are very emotional. Just some great Christian romance. We have Love and a Little White Lie, Love and the Silver Lining, and then My Hope Next Door, which I recently read this year, and I loved all of these books. They're all 5-star reads. Very good faith content in all three of these books. I think my favorite out of these three is My Hope Next Door. It is very emotional, and I had to take it in doses, so just be aware of that, but I still loved it. Very impactful read, and the faith content, I cried. I really don't know how to rank both of these, but they're both equally just loved. I love these so much. There's a third book in the trilogy that I didn't care for as much, but I still love book 1 and 2. And this is about January. She's a skeptic of faith. She starts working in a church, starts getting to really feel the Lord tug on her heartstrings. We see her faith journey in this, and there's a love triangle in here that, like, Tammy L Gray does it so well, so there's that. And then we've got the second book is Love and the Silver Lining, and this is all about Darcy, and she's wanting to go to a missions trip that gets canceled. All these things go down, and she ends up having to stay with Guy's sister, and then there's all this stuff, like another love triangle going between her and this other guy. It's a lot of drama, but very emotional read and throughout the story. So, and then we've got My Hope Next Door, and this is about former bad girl Katie, and she has this reputation over her, but she ends up meeting this guy next door named Afshar. He's kind of got some stuff going on in his past with his church, and they just start working things out together, and they realize how much they need each other, and just such a beautiful faith element in here. And I just loved all three of these. So that's all I can say in a very short time. Love these books. Very good for Bless Your Heart because they're so emotional. And of course, any of Becky Wade's books, y'all, are going to be great for this prompt. Okay, so I have read 5 of her books so far. Stay With Me, Let It Be Me, True to Me. This is all books. These are 3 books in the Misty River series. I have a whole series review on my Instagram for this, and I've talked a lot about these, so I'm not going to get into those. And then Memory Lane's her most recent release, and My Stubborn Heart. So I gave 5 stars to all of these, and except for Memory Lane, I gave 4 stars. Still all really great books and very emotional impact. Not going to get too into it, but this one I think is the one that really left the most emotional impact, My Stubborn Heart. This book took me through it, y'all. Me and Amy at Pretty Little Paperbacks buddy read this together, and we cried. We talked about it. It was so emotional, and I think this one is like the one that fits the prompt the most. I do think that Stay With Me also is definitely a second place for that, because, you know, this is dealing with drug addiction and, you know, this guy helping her get through all these things that she's going through in her life, and just the ending was so emotional and also heartwarming as well. So I think that one definitely, these were all really fit the prompt, but those two I just want to, what am I saying? Those two I want to mention specifically, but really all of these. Okay. And I think Left Behind is very emotional. You're going to be going through it in this. I've heard a lot about this as an end times Christian fiction that just really took me through it. I think I need to read book 3 next, and I just haven't even recovered from book 2. It's like, Christie loved these. I don't know where she stopped. Was it book 13, 12? Who knows? There's a whole series. She was reading the whole series this year, and I really need to get back to it. So yeah, I really wanted to read book 3 this month, but I don't know that I will, but either way, it'll happen at some point, and this is definitely an emotional read. I'm probably last to reading this, but I had to add it to the list because 100%. Then I think, of course, any of the Francine Rivers, I'm not going to kind of get into it, but Francine Rivers is very emotional, with the exception of, I think, The Lady's Mind is not as emotional. I think it's more lighthearted than the rest of them people have said. I've not read it yet, but you know, like the first ones that come to mind, A Voice in the Wind, y'all already knew. Took y'all through that in my vlog, crying and everything on the camera, honey. And then Echo in the Darkness, I read that, you know, in 24 hours. So, you know, Redeeming Love. I mean, any of them will be emotional, okay? And then I think Where the Road Bends by Rachel Fordham. Not enough people talk about this. Oshina recently read it and really enjoyed it. And this is one of my 5-star reads of last year. And I finally got a copy at my library's little library sale that they have. It's like 50 cents. So I only spent 50 cents on this copy, and it was like brand new. So I got really lucky on that. But I had read the ebook and audiobook earlier last year, and I love this so much. Just such a very emotional and heartwarming story, and it resembles a lot of the Redeeming Love qualities. It's just my heart. This was so emotional, and I'm not gonna get into it, but Quincy and Nora, honey, they have my heart. Okay, so moving on. And then the final one I have here, sorry, I promise you there's not this many books in every prompt, but I really wanted to give y'all a good video, okay? Most of these I've already talked about, but we're just gonna keep going. And then the final one for this prompt is Unlocked by Karen Kingsbury. I tabbed this up. I read this, well, I don't know if it was last year or 2021, I can't remember. I think it was last year, and I think I forgot to talk about it in my top books of last year, my bad. But this really was one of my top books of last year. I loved it so much. It's about a 18-year-old boy with autism, what he's going through, and I really related to the mom and her struggles. The first prologue, I was crying, had it in a vlog, the whole thing. Read it like April or May of last year, I want to say. So, okay, so prompt number 2 is Sweet Tea, a book with something sweet on the cover or a sweet story. So the first thing that comes to mind, and these ain't for everybody, but they were for me, okay? This does have a little bit of language, and, you know, some of it's cringy here and there, but The Cheat Sheet by Sarah Adams and When in Rome by Sarah Adams, I really liked both of these. Give them 4 stars. You know, if you're not someone who wants to read books with language, you probably aren't going to love these, but they are still a really good time. And, you know, they are just a sweet story, and they make you laugh and all the good things. So, yeah. And something that has something sweet on the cover. We're talking about sweet tea, honey. And, you know, I couldn't have a book without sweet tea on the cover, right? So, Live and Let Chai. I think this is really more like peach tea, but we'll just say it's sweet tea. How about that? But Live and Let Chai by Bree Baker. One of my favorite cozy mysteries. And I don't know what else to say. I mean, she's got like a little stand. What do they call it? I don't remember what they called it. She had a cute little name for it. Whatever. I don't even know. But it was just a really good time. I really want to read book 2. I wanted to read it in March. Didn't get a chance to read book 2 in March, but it'll come when it comes, okay? So there's that one. And then The Mistletoe Countess is also a really good, sweet story if you haven't read it. Talked a lot about it as well. Great characters. Where's the book? This video, I'm sorry, it's chaotic. But The Mistletoe Countess, Pepper Basham, one of my favorite books. I just love Pepper's books with all my heart. And Grace and Frederick are the best couple. So sweet. I love this. It's really like more on that sweet level for me because they are really getting to know each other in their marriage, and it's so great. I loved it. And we have another book that I think is really lighthearted that I think fits this prompt pretty good, and that's going to be Tacos for Two by Betsy St. Amant. And it's a little bit long, I think, but I gave this 4 stars when I read it. And it's just all about this girl doing a food truck competition with this guy. All these things go down. They don't know they're talking to each other on like instant message and stuff. So like it's cute. It's a good time. And that's all I can remember right now. But it was very lighthearted. A lot of y'all probably would enjoy it, especially if you like food truck romances. So, oh, I always forget to talk about this. I did talk about it in my romance recommendations video, and that is A Girl's Guide to the Outback. I'll leave that video for romance recs in the card in the description, which a lot of y'all have already read those, so I felt like I was duplicating that, but I was trying. Okay, so like last year was the year that I read the books that everybody else has read already, so my bad. But anyway, A Girl's Guide to the Outback by Jessica Kate. This was a lot of fun, Australian vibes, cute, sweet, funny, all the things. So yeah, I had a really good time. I read this when I first started my channel, I think. I can't remember. I buddy read it with one of my good friends, and so yeah, it was a good time. And, okay, so Hottest Blue Blazes, a book with a hot setting. This is a little bit harder than you think, y'all. So I ended up picking up these two, Counted with the Stars and by Connilyn Cossette, and Jewel of the Nile by Tessa Afshar. So I really enjoyed both of these. These are biblical fiction stories, and one of them is set in Egypt. That's yeah, the Connilyn Cossette, that's set in Egypt, and then Tessa Afshar is set in ancient Kush. And I was like, I think that's like the desert. So sorry if I'm wrong, but I looked it up, so it's very hot and dry. So both of these would be really good for that prompt. And if you're really wanting to dip your toes into biblical fiction, these are some good ones, okay? Speaking of Egypt, we also have The Cairo Curse by Pepper Basham. This is book 2 after Mistletoe Countess. Had such a great time with this. Loved being back with Grace and Frederick. So much fun. It was really like just like I said, it's Clue meets Indiana Jones, okay? And then we got The Testament by John Grisham. It's been a long time since I've talked about this, I feel like, but I wanted to remind y'all about it because it's the hidden gem, just like my girl Oshina said. We love a good Oshina rec. And I'm so glad that she read this because I would never have picked this up if it wasn't for her. And it's a secular read, but it has a little bit of mild language, not really to me, but a little bit. And you know, you got this guy, it's got that will testament story, right? Like, who's gonna get the money? Everybody fighting over the will, you know, like, what's up? And you know, this guy didn't love his family, and so he like, peace out, I'm gone. He was dying, and he ends up leaving his fortune to this girl who's like basically in Brazil on a missions trip, and this guy has to go find her in Brazil, and that's a hot setting, so that's why I picked it. But really, this could go for several of the prompts. I mean, I always want to remind y'all about this because I'm going to tell y'all, it's a hidden gem. The faith in this, let me tell you, especially for a secular read, love it. All right, so that's it for Hottest Blue Blazes. And then Heavens to Betsy, a mystery or thriller that will shock you. I don't have the copy of these, but I just read these 2 Colleen Coble books, and I feel like I was shocked in a lot of parts of this. I was like, what? Lots of twists and turns. So I feel like we could say that for this. It's a Christian romantic suspense, and it's, what's the title? Sorry, Age of Dusk and Dark of Night, okay, whatever. And I really think that any of the Agatha Christies are going to be a good pick. I've only read a couple of hers. I don't have the 2 I've read on my shelf or anything. I had borrowed them from the library. I've got several Agathas on my shelf, but I haven't read them. So I think any of them, because I never figure it out, and it always shocks me. I'm like, what? So we can say that. And then I really think that the If I Run trilogy, y'all, that was the first book that ever really got me into reading mystery last year. I mean, I inhale read these. Everyone talks about them. They live up to the hype. They're really great. And yeah, highly recommend. Girl on the run, didn't kill nobody. Her friend, they think she did. She's like, knows that the police there are corrupt because something to do with her. Was it her daddy or something? I can't remember. I think so. Anyway, she don't trust the police on this, okay? So she on the run, and the faith content in this is amazing, and you really will read these in like, I read all 3 in like a few days, okay? Probably the fastest I ever read a trilogy was this. And I don't have book 2 or 3, but I listened to them on audio, and the narration's really great. Okay, and then we have got all the Fixins, a book in multiple genres. Now, I have an entire video with historical recommendations, and a part of that, I believe, had historical romance. So I'm going to link that video for y'all if you haven't seen it, but I'm going to try just to mention a few that I wanted to pick out here. Specifically, one that I just finished this week, and it's my favorite book of the year, y'all. And I want to save the gush, okay, for the end of month wrap up, because that's what's going to be in the video, pretty much. Because I've talked about most of the books I've read so far, except for When the Day Comes by Gabrielle Meyer. And love this so much. Oh my gosh, talk about it on my stories. It's such a unique story. Time travel, faith, you know, romance, family, everything. So this could actually go for the last prompt that talks about a book with family, featuring friendship and family. Definitely this one as well. Yeah, this is really like that historical romance, but it also, the reason I put it in here is because, number one, I just read it and it's like favorite book of the year, I'm telling you right now. And then it has kind of this fantastical element of time travel. So that's kind of like multiple for me. Now, this book does have, I want to say this right off, it does have a couple of scenes that are marital sexual assault. But to me, they were very off page. It was not detailed in any way, but I still want to mention that because I know that's important. Content's important to a lot of you. So, but still, so many of you that I've talked to about this feel the same way as me about, you know, the scenes and say, hey, you know, I didn't feel like it was too much or anything at all. So, you know, I still want to mention that because, you know, just so that you're aware. But this was just such a great read, and I can't wait to talk about it. And about to wrap up, I'm like, okay, go on, Amanda. It's like killing me not to talk about it right now. So, okay, anyway. Then the other book I have here is The Maid of Valley Made Cool by Jennifer Dibble. The reason I put this in here is because it also kind of has a retelling element. It's not just historical romance. It's got that retelling vibe of Cinderella. So yeah, this is a recent read. I talked a lot about it recently. Loved it. Y'all gotta read this, okay? Because I think it's my favorite of hers, okay? Speaking of retellings, which really this is more of like a reimagining, so take it for what it is, but I haven't talked about this in a while. So Dust by Kara Swanson. I really liked book one. Book two was still good, but book one was my favorite. And this is like a Peter Pan type reimagining, inspired, whatever you want to call it. And the reason I put this in here is because it's fantasy, but it's also got that retelling, you know, crossover here with Peter Pan, and I really liked it. So now, I may be wrong on that, but that's my interpretation. Again, y'all do your own interpretations. I ain't gonna police it, okay? Honey, just have fun. It's fine. This is low key. Prompt is Chicken and Dumplings, a book you think will be a comfort read. Okay, let's go. So, I recently read this book here, A Lady's Guide to Fortune Hunting. I really enjoyed this. Very lighthearted read, Regency vibes, all the things. I ain't gonna say too much because, like I said, I talked a lot about it, but it was really good. And then, clean secular read, by the way. No language or nothing, so it was great. And, okay, yeah. Any Jen Toronto, I'm gonna tell you right now, definitely a comfort read. This one I read recently, and it's a match in the making. I just love her books. I've read Flights of Fancy and this one, and they just have like this whimsical, banter, funny, all the good things, very lighthearted. I think this is definitely a comfort read because I could reread this and just feel right at home. So fun. Love it. And this was a recommendation, by the way, from my friend. I forgot to mention this in the video when I did the review, but my girl Alicia at For the Love of Christian Fiction. Hey girl, hey. I literally was so influenced. I bought it, got it, read it, loved it. So hey, she talked about it and loved it and raved about it, and I love it. I probably love any book she likes. So yeah, love this. Pick it up. I also think that Off the Chain by Janice Thompson, really all of the books in the Gone to the Dogs mystery series are great comfort reads. These are cute, Christian, cozy mysteries that just make you feel so cozy and comforted and all the good things. And I love these, and they deal with animals and definitely comforting in the series. I'm going to read book 4. I meant to read it this month, didn't happen. But I've ordered book 2, 3, and 4. By the way, so I have my own copy. We ain't gonna talk about it, but love this series, you know. I think these are rereadable. They are just, you know, I give them 4 stars usually each time. They're just so much fun and definitely comforting. The characters are sweet and very cute. So, by Anna Green Gables, definitely the ultimate comfort read. Okay, sorry, drop my paper. I'm struggling, but okay, right here. So, I read this last year and I loved it so much. I need to continue on. I read book 2 and I need to continue on to book 3. And just love Anne so much. I still need to watch the show. I'm not good. My track record of watching stuff ain't good, but hey, we're here. I mean, I'm still behind on book 2 videos, let alone watching anything. So, yeah, I'm here. And I just love Anne. She's like coming back home. She's comforting. Her whole personality is just, she has such a fervor for life. I love her, and I definitely think this is the #1 comfort read on the whole list, really. All right, and then we're getting close here. Hey, y'all, a book with more than one POV. All right, here we go. I got 4 of these. And I already talked about one, my bad. The Day Comes on, this would also fit, this upside down. When the Day Comes by Gabrielle Meyer is also a good one for more than one point of view because we've got 2 timelines, right? I recently read Echoes Among the Stones. That had a dual timeline, different perspectives there by Jamie Jo Wright. I loved it, so pick that one up. I don't have it, but this is what it looks like, okay? In the Blackout Book Club is the #1 because this has like multiple perspectives. I don't know if it's 3, 4, 5, whatever. But yeah, this follows some really lovely ladies. Amy Lynn Green, I love her books. Cannot wait to read her other books. This is a historical read, and I don't know, I just loved this. It felt like coming home. You know, they're in the war and they come up with this Blackout Book Club, but you're following really the true stories of all these different ladies and their lives, and it's just so emotional. I love it. So yeah, Blackout Book Club. And I didn't find the perspectives that hard to follow. At the beginning, I was kind of trying to figure that out, but once you get going, you're fine with it. They're so different, okay? And then The Words We Lost had multiple perspectives as well, and this could also be considered Bless Your Heart because it's very emotional. Also, Echoes Among the Stones had a tone of grief, so it is also very emotional as well, so that could go for that too. Okay. And then final prompt is Howdy Partner, a book featuring friendship or family. First off, Resistance by J.L. Knight. Yes, okay, I'm here. We've got this found family vibe in this book. I absolutely love this, okay? Top tier. We've got the girl with her twin brother. Yes. Kyron and Caden. Like, just the whole element of, like, these older people as well, trying to, like, you know, almost minister to these younger people. Mentors. Yes, that fits in. And that's a Christian fantasy, and I loved it. And it's not even like a magical fantasy. It's just like the world. Love it. Okay, and then Wistress, Nadine Brandes. I really feel like, where'd it go? Here we go. I feel like this video's all over the place, but y'all know me by now. Wistress, Nadine Brandes. One of my top books of the year last year. And honestly, this is true found family vibes as well. Just like the friendship element, but really it's like found family, okay? And then, of course, you have to say, that's also Christian fantasy, by the way. We already know this. You can't talk about books with family without talking about Lord of the Rings. Hello. Fellowship of the Ring. Still need to read book 2 and 3. We ain't going to talk about it. Yeah, okay. Sam and Frodo and the whole gang. Merry and Pippin. Yes, ma'am. Aragorn. Yes. Gandalf. Let's keep going. And then my final books I'm going to talk about real quick are, I also think, Authentically Izzy. Right? Because, I mean, yes, we live with a family, multiple point of views, comfort read. Hey, this goes for many things. Sweet story, all the things, okay? And then Laurel's Dream and The Heart of the Mountains, some of my favorite reads of last year or the year before. Either way, I can't remember. I just love both of these books, and they both have the best family. Like, when I think about a true, beautiful family, you know, the things that they go through, there's some things going on with the dad and stuff, but like, other than that, there's just such a beautiful family that they love each other, they work hard, they take care of each other, and even her dad does too, you know, but there's a lot of like hardship there, you know, with the dad in one of these, but just, you know, the romance in these is great too, but like just that Appalachian back in the olden days, you know, that setting of they worked hard, they took care of their families, and they didn't, you know, mess around with them, okay? And that's exactly what's in this, and it's so perfect for the prompt. So, please read these. These are so good. I always want to remind y'all about these because they are so good. I think this one is pretty cheap on Kindle. Okay, get it, okay? I'm telling you right now. And that's it. So, I'm sure there's plenty more, okay? Y'all make this readathon your own. There's tons of great books for these prompts. I hope that you all will have fun with this. I'm so excited about the readathon, like I said. I know I said excited like how many times in this video, but hey, we're here. I'm going to work on filming my TBR next. Get these books put back on the shelves. You'll see this video first before the TBR comes out this weekend. And really, my TBR is going to be filled with like NetGalley reads. I already talked about that, but we're going to throw in a little something special on this, okay? We're going to throw in a little something special, okay? It's not really part of the readathon, but it could be. Okay, I hope I didn't skip nothing on this list. Because, like, I'm so bad about skipping. Did I skip anything? Let me double check. I think I talked about... I did. I think I did. Okay, anyway, we're here. I love y'all. I hope y'all have the best day. Thank you all for watching. And I'll see you all in my next video. Bye!